And now something completely different.
Good afternoon. I'm speaking to you live just outside Los
Angeles. I like to think balding is just God's way of saying, now let's see you get laid.
Is it true that if you don't use it, you lose it?
What I'd really like to do is put the greatness of this man in perspective.
The hair loss community has a lot to be thankful for, having you as a spokesperson.
You mean you just call this guy up?
About life and about reality?
And now, America's #1 reality radio show for men. Live from Los Angeles, it's Spencer Kobren's The Bald Truth.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. 888-659-3727. Holy cow, what an afternoon. Almost didn't make it, but I'm glad that I did. Welcome to the broadcast. Let me bring Joe up right away. If you are new to the broadcast, don't know who I am, why I'm here, or why the other guy who is on the right of the screen, or your left, whatever, the other guy. We are here to talk about hair loss. It's kind of a bizarre thing that we do. I've been doing this broadcast for going on, it's actually more than 20 years. This is our 20th anniversary of The Bald Truth, and I'm a consumer advocate for men and women who are dealing with hair loss. I'm the author of The Bald Truth and The Truth About Women's Hair Loss, which are currently the most read volumes on the prevention and treatment of hair loss in the world. And I've been doing this for, again, quite a long time, trying to get the word out there about the reality of hair loss, living life as a hair loss sufferer, dealing with the hair loss industry, dealing as a young man and now an older man with hair loss. You know, I started to lose my hair at the age of 21. I have been lucky enough to slow down the progression of my hair loss using FDA-approved medication. But during that time, during this experience, during the initial throes of my hair loss, I was just like everyone else. I was the guy doing as much research as I can. And as confusing as it was back then, and it was fucked up, let me tell you. It was not easy because, you know, the internet wasn't even in existence. Everything was just straight up advertisements. And to tell you the truth, most things haven't changed. But there was really no one to talk to about this issue. So after being screwed over, after being ripped off, after luckily having the wherewithal not to be disfigured by the industry at the time, I decided to take all the knowledge that I gained, kind of getting the runaround and trying to be sold wigs and hair transplants and all kinds of shit in the late 80s and in the early 90s, and put it into a book. And that's what I did. And I have turned my Achilles heel into my career. And there's a lot of guys out there in the online world, new guys, young guys, who don't really understand what it was like back then when we had nothing. There was no finasteride. There was no minoxidil. Rogaine wasn't even approved by the FDA for hair loss yet. What was that?
That's amazing.
Are you talking?
To think that far back. Rogaine wasn't even approved by the FDA
fucked
yet.
Up. That's exactly what it is, dude.
Before a lot of these guys were born.
I can give myself enough headroom in the shot. I rushed the camera in today. But anyway.
It worked.
It's fine. You know, all these guys that are complaining online, they have no idea what it was like. I mean, I was hanging upside down, rubbing cayenne pepper in my scalp. I mean, I was advised to do this by a doctor. Okay.
I love cayenne pepper in my chocolate cookies.
Yeah. I mean,
not in my head.
Yeah, but that's the reality of where we were at. And, you know, listen, we're dealing with a crazy industry. We got the sad, you know, suffering hair loss sufferers who are just bitter out there, who, you know, will say anything, will regurgitate any bullshit that's out there, and, you know, guide people in the wrong direction. Also talk about, you know, the type of work that we do. And then we have the doctors who are against what we've done for so many years. And, you know, the industry, because we've exposed, and I've exposed the industry for what it is for so many years. So it's kind of like, you know, the battle is like, guys, I just want to make it clear that we're on your side. We're here to help you. So if you don't enjoy the broadcast, I would say change the dial or don't watch, this video or, the podcast, whatever it is. But if you understand that we are guiding you in the safest possible direction because of everything that we've been through and the fact that we have a unique insight into the industry because we are in the industry. We're in a unique position in the industry, but we are in the industry. We deal with the nuts and bolts of this shit every day. And there's nothing that could be said online by anybody else. I hate to say it. This sounds obnoxious. But they don't know dick. That's just the reality.
And we're not here to sell you anything.
Exactly.
We are not here to sell you a hair transplant. We're not here to sell you anything. Not medication, not lasers, not lotions.
Not yet. Not
nothing.
Yet. When that happens, you'll know that I sold out, and I will be very open about that. I'm like, look, I'm getting old. I'm tired. I would like an extra few $1 million for my retirement, and I'm selling out today. You know what? That could be out there in perpetuity. And sadly, you motherfuckers are too stupid to even look at that and take it. You'll still be like, well, maybe he's just saying that. Maybe this laser cap works. I don't know. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying that's the attitude. I realized that a long time ago, Joe, that, when I think about, and this is the reality, you think about the IHRS, you think about the numbers of physicians who apply every year, and if you added all of those guys up, just roughly, I would be earning about, $45 million a year.
Just for memberships.
Just give or take. Just to open up those fucking doors.
And the reason why you're not is why?
Is because we don't open up those doors. Well, that's actually what my late father would say.
Exactly.
Let him rest in peace.
Yeah.
It was more like, you're a fucking idiot. No one cares. And just take the money.
Yeah. That sounds like Pop from back then.
That's my father. Yeah. No, he's like, no one, in the end, no one's going to be, there's nothing going to be on your tombstone. He was a good guy. Or he did the right thing.
See, it will be on my tombstone because I've already dictated that it will be put on my tombstone.
No, my tombstone is going to be like, I told you I was sick. That was it.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, you stole that from someone. That's
I did.
Was it Benny Goodman? No, wait. Who was it?
It wasn't Benny Goodman, but it's an old joke.
Yeah, one of those guys.
Yeah. And today, I had to rush in here to take a quick shower. The comb over is a little bit too combed over today. I don't know. My whole thing, I started off frazzled today. I had such a busy day getting into the studio.
It actually looks good.
I appreciate that.
There's no indicators of a rush job. I like it.
You're a good man. You're a good man, and that's why we keep you on.
I know there's a reason.
Yeah. Hold on. Spencer Tombstone will have his hair on it. That's so fucked up. That is just one of the most fucked up comments, and funny too, I have to admit.
Fucked up in a good way.
Yeah. God, I hate people. Anyway,
I would like to thank our viewers and the participants in the chat room. We got guys from all over that are listening and watching, and we really appreciate you. Please pick up the phone. Call us. We got the UK and Euro number. You can call that. We also have the North American number, which I've posted everywhere. So if you got questions, want to talk about your situation, pick up the damn phone.
Yeah, we got some calls on the line. We're going to take those calls now. So the phone number is 888-659-3727. Just kind of wanted to let the new guys know who we are, what we do, and understand, especially young guys, you millennials out there, these guys who are like in their early 20s, and you're on all these websites and you think you're just so informed. Believe me, I was the same. I was a kid once too. Yes, a long time ago. I understand that. That was quite a long time ago. But, if you really think about the timeline of my work, I was a kid when I started doing this. So even you guys who are like 28, 29, who are still like spending all your time in the message forums and on, the different social media outlets, bitching your life away as opposed to doing something with yourselves, I was published. by that time because I was like, you know what? This is fucked up. I don't want to live this way. I got to figure out a way out of this shit. And when I did, I decided to do something about it. I wish more guys are truly proactive as far as, just not just going out there to try to make a couple of bucks, which there's nothing wrong with money. I'm a capitalist. Believe me, I'm an entrepreneur. That's it. I like money, just like everybody else. But I see these guys are on YouTube. I'm like, Jesus, like the false hope that's being presented to these young guys, and they believe it. And they're mad at us because we won't agree with them or talk about RU58841, which we were talking about 20 years ago. And we want to talk about certain laser helmets.
People are looking at it, so it's got new hope.
Well, there is hope. I think. Let's take a phone call. 888-659-3727. Hey, man, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hello. Hey, this is Eric. Calling from Memphis.
Eric from Memphis. How are you, man?
Hello, Eric.
Hey, guys. How you doing? Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely. Thanks for calling.
That's what we do.
What can we help you with?
Well, I was curious about your guys' experience specifically with minoxidil Rogaine foam for the front of the hairline. Just curious about if you think it works for most people, because I know it's only approved for the back of the head. But essentially, my situation, I've been using the foam on the front of my hairline because I'm like a Norwood 3A, pretty much. Like the back of my head is pretty solid. It's thinning a little bit. So for the past 3 months, I used the foam on the back of my head and on the front of my hairline. And as of now, after 3 months of being pretty religious about it, the back of my head looks a little better, but the front of my hairline looks like kind of worse. And I'm 28. I was wondering, I'm just kind of curious if I should keep going with it, just kind of commit to it, or just stop altogether. If I'm just making it worse, I don't know.
Well, Joe, I mean, I'm gonna start, and then I'll let you
go ahead.
Pick up your point. But honestly, and it's important that most guys know this. I mean, just because Rogaine has not been approved by the FDA or minoxidil for the hairline and for the mid-anterior scalp does not mean that it cannot work there. Realize that drugs, cost a lot of money for drugs to be approved for specific indications. And what they try to do is really just have a drug approved for as narrow of an indication as possible so that they could kind of get it on the market. And that's what the original makers of Rogaine did. And then they went into create a new formulation, which was the foam, so they can get a patent on that. But they didn't move forward as far as getting it approved for the hairline. To answer your question about essentially, there's no reason why it wouldn't work all over the scalp. And that's really important for people to understand. And the same goes for finasteride. What you're probably experiencing is what a lot of people experience with Rogaine is a typical telogen effluvium from the medication. A lot of people end up looking worse before they look better. And that's very, very common. In some cases, however, it doesn't get better. And it just kind of hastened the process. But that's kind of rare, but it can happen. Joe, I'm going to let you give your opinion.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I mean, neither Rogaine or minoxidil or finasteride were tested, or the studies weren't for the frontal hairline. They were both for the crown, if I understand it correctly. And so, because they only focused on that one area, they can't switch around and say, "Oh, yeah, it works in the hairline as well." However, I know from experience that finasteride can work in the hairline, as does Rogaine. It's just no one can. I don't believe that the original makers were able to were allowed to say that because it was never tested for that. I think that's the case.
Well, it was just to be clear, it was tested for the entire scalp. It just wasn't approved because they had to actually stick to a specific indication in order for it to get approved. So what they did was that's what I meant is that it wasn't they didn't go through the full process where they said, okay, it's approved for the crown, now let's get this thing approved for the hairline. It was like, this is good enough. So while this is hearsay, And I can tell you that I have been in both the offices of Merck Pharmaceuticals, and at the time it was Pharmacy Upjohn. And this is many years ago, the beginning of my career when I was on radio, when they were sponsors of the broadcast. And I know that it was tested, and it is, and again, it's hearsay because I can't show you any paperwork. But they just decided not to go for those indications. And it does, both medications work over the entire scalp.
Yeah.
So I kind of think that and if you read the insert, initially Rogaine did not provide this information, but if you read the insert, it will say that some people will go through an initial shedding process that could last months in some cases, and a lot of people end up looking worse before they look better. Now, is that too elaborate of an answer? Does that help you in any way?
No, that's great. That's an awesome answer. Yeah, I mean, I heard about all that stuff. I've been listening, and I know about the effluvium thing, but at this point, since it's been 3 months, it started to get a little scary. I mean, I don't know if you've heard of anybody having this, but it's like a thick peach fuzz kind of thing on the front of my hairline, like thicker than most peach fuzz I've seen. So I don't know if it was going to, could potentially that peach fuzz could grow into stronger, recognizable hair.
Was the peach fuzz new? Is this new growth, the peach fuzz?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. It looks like strong peach fuzz.
Okay, well, I think that's a good sign, and don't forget that you're talking about hair growing. It's like it's worse than watching the grass grow. It takes forever. So that's obviously a good sign if you've got some sort of growth of any kind. So I would just recommend that you give it some more time. Stay the course, keep doing what you're doing, and see how it works out for you over more time. Understand that if you decide to stop because you don't think it's worth it, that's probably a really bad idea, because even if when you're taking these medications, when you're taking minoxidil or finasteride of any kind, one of the problems I see when people are taking it is they stop it because they just don't see any sort of change. And so they automatically assume that nothing's happening. But what they don't realize is that many of those cases, it is doing something. It's hanging on to what they have. It may not be improving things, but it's holding things steady. And if you stop taking it, and this goes the same for minoxidil, if you just stop it because you don't think it's worth it or you don't think it's doing anything, that could actually throw you into a stronger telogen effluvium that you don't recover from, because what you're hanging on to isn't coming back.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Can you repeat that, Joe?
That's a good point.
No.
Okay.
Be careful. That's the point.
Yeah. Listen, it sounds like you're actually probably going to be a responder. And the problem is people are – a lot of guys, they go through an initial shed, they freak out, they stop when, in fact, they would have done well. The truth of the matter is, the hair that you've lost from using the product is hair that you would have lost anyway without doing it if you decide not to do anything. Now, it may not have happened as quickly. It may have taken an extra year to occur. But at least you're being proactive, and there's a possibility now by treating your hair loss that you could actually reverse, or at least with minoxidil, you can keep it in an anagen phase longer once it regrows. And, it will reverse miniaturization to some degree. That's the whole point of the whole vasodilator, but really, to keep in anagen phase longer. I am a believer. And again, this is just my opinion, but based on a lot of experience, including my personal experience, that minoxidil really acts as a Band-Aid. And it could be very beneficial for some guys. Like it kind of was my bridge to Propecia because Propecia had not been, or Proscar at the time, was just not known about. It wasn't available. It wasn't approved until 1992. I mean, I'm old, so I've been doing this for a long time. So I didn't get my hands on it until 93. So for me, minoxidil was a lifesaver because it definitely slowed things down a lot. And again, I had to actually crush Longton tablets or minoxidil tablets and have it compounded by a compounding pharmacy, because minoxidil, I don't think it was approved until 88 actually, as Rogaine.
86 or 88, one of the two.
I think it's 88. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know it's it creates a lot of anxiety, and you don't know what to do. You're like, shit, maybe I better quit while I'm ahead. You're not ahead. That's the thing. Right now, you're kind of like in a real transitional phase where if you stop, it could fuck you up. And for some guys, if they continue, they can end up having, a more rapid hair loss. But usually, that's not the case. So I would continue for a while.
Yeah.
And again, we're not doctors. This is not medical advice. Just based on years of guys like you calling us and calling me and writing, and a lot of people are just like, I'm really glad I stayed on it because it benefited me a lot.
Cool. I mean, yeah, it's just it's so hard to find any reliable information out there. So I really appreciate.
But here's the thing: if you get fucked up over it, don't come back to me blaming me, because I'm just giving you. I'm just telling you what this is the average response. Usually good responders are just like you. They have a telogen or they have an effluvium, and then they start to see kind of like a thickening or new hair growing. And then within 6 months, that hair that they lost starts to grow back. And then within a year, they're like, wow, I'm better off than I was before.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I was looking for. I mean, because I know you guys you seem very, very in this thing, and obviously so. I mean, and I also have...
Sadly,
I have finasteride. Right.
Yeah, sadly.
I mean, I have finasteride. I haven't started it. I want to see. I'm wondering if I was like, okay, maybe I should keep the minoxidil for a little while longer and then start the medication, or if just start it right away. I'm not sure. So maybe I'll give this a little while and see how it looks.
I would wait. Yeah, I would wait, because if you start taking the finasteride now, then and you continue on with the minoxidil, you have no idea one or 2 years from now which one is working for you, because you're already seeing an improvement that's going to continue to potentially get better on minoxidil alone. So you really don't know. I would wait a minimum of 3 more months, to where you're at 6 months with the minoxidil, maybe even 9 months. See how you continue with that, because you are improving with that, and then throw the finasteride in on top of it to see what you can get above and beyond your minoxidil use. In my experience, just talking with patients, it tends to work better when it's combined, or you tend to get better results when it's combined, especially if you're getting a result from one and then you add the other. It really does seem to help.
Cool. Man, that's great advice. I think I will try that. Because, I don't know. I mean, like, if I started finasteride and then I started losing more hair, it's like I don't know which one would be causing, the shedding or the. Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, man, well, that's pretty much it. I mean,
all right, man.
Seriously, thanks for having me.
Well, listen,
really appreciate it.
Good luck, and call back. Let us know how you do. I have a feeling that in a few months you're going to be like, okay, this is good.
And call us back to let us know. I mean, give us an update on how things work out for you.
I will do. Yeah, hoping I don't look like George Costanza, but I guess we'll see. So,
well, I mean, it depends. Are you short?
No, I'm pretty tall.
Okay, so then you won't. Don't worry about it.
Then you're good.
All right, man. All right, take care.
All
right, bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
888-659-3727 is the toll-free number. Guys, if you try to call, for whatever reason you're not getting a busy signal, you're going into like a voice system, just keep calling, because that means that we're busy, and then you'll eventually come on. Hey, man, you're on the air. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
It's George from Staten Island.
George from Staten Island. What's happening, dude?
My name is...
No, not the music.
My name is...
Joe from Staten Island.
My name is... Excuse me. My name is...
Would you like to may reiterate it?
My name is... My name is... My name is...
Have you heard it? Excuse me.
My name is... My name is... My name is...
Joe from
George.
Staten Island.
It's George from Staten Island. What's happening, George? Listen, we have to play it because Joe is just such a big part of the program for so many years, and he just decided to disappear because he doesn't like Joe Tillman. And I think maybe he thinks that I don't care about him.
I think there's also he also thinks that you fired him. Let's not forget about that. Even though he didn't work for you, he thought that you fired him.
Yeah. So
Wow, that's something. Anyway, yeah, 2 questions, man. Does anybody know the studies between the laser comb and the laser helmet? Which one was more effective? And the other question was, has anyone seen the fucking Avengers? I'm starting to think that you have to have a full head of hair to be a fucking superhero.
Well, I mean, you do. That's just That's just a very sad.
There was one bald superhero in that whole ensemble, and it is a woman.
Yeah, you have to be a bald woman.
The blue chick, Gamora's sister.
Oh yeah.
And I did see the Avengers. Fucking awesome movie. Infinity War was kick ass.
Well, what about the chicks? What about Black Panther and the bald black chicks with the SMP? That's SMP.
That was kick ass.
You're gonna get a head tattoo. That's what you go for.
That's what you do. Go tribal.
Because you got to just go tribal, man.
I just think. I mean, as a comic book collector, I'm from the '70s, early '70s, and I know all about the Avengers. They would cover. Captain America had an outfit where it covered his head. Hawkeye had a costume that covered his head. Thor had a helmet. Not today's movies. Today's movies, you gotta have hair. Wolverine, hair. And I'm just noticing this. I'm like, you gotta have hair to be in movies.
Yeah, but look at Dr. X, Dr. Xavier. He's balder than anyone. Like no one's as bald as him. And he's one of the biggest characters in the MCU.
Oh, but Wolverine got way more play than him.
You're talking about the good-looking superheroes, the ones that get play or that you would assume get play. See, that's a different story, but I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, I just see, like Joe, you mentioned a while ago. You said, "quote Hollywood doesn't like to see scalp." You are so right.
Yeah,
you're so right on that.
How come no one's bringing up poor Vern Troyer? Who? A fellow Norwood who recently passed away, Mini-Me.
He was a movie star.
Oh yeah. That's a shame. But
that guy got laid. That guy screwed like Playboy bunnies.
Yeah, sure he did. But he killed himself, didn't he?
Yeah, dude. So a lot of rock stars who are fully formed, full height. They're not LPs
with full heads of hair.
With full heads of hair.
Yeah, I don't know. But does anyone know the studies between the laser comb and the laser helmet? Does the laser comb help?
I can tell you this now. The laser comb from Lexington International was the first FDA approved. I'm sorry. Thank you, Joe. Jesus, I hate when motherfuckers say that. The first FDA cleared medical, and I used I'm using air quotes because I'm using this term lightly. Jesus, I can't think. Anyway, so it was the first FDA cleared laser device for hair loss. Why was it cleared? Well, there were similar devices on the market for other applications, and it was kind of easy to push through. And what was interesting about that particular company is Time Magazine named that device one of the inventions of the year, all based on a very simple application. This is hearsay, but I was told by the founder of the company that essentially all they did was fill out a form for Time Magazine. Some editor thought it was a cool idea, and boom, it was Time Magazine's invention of the year in 2001 or 2002 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So,
wow.
As far as studies are concerned, I mean, in my view, all of the studies are relatively questionable. Most studies have been done on, using low-level laser light therapy for different indications. There have been studies done for hair loss. Usually what you see are macro and micro or macro. What is it? Macro photography, Joe?
Macro.
Yeah. So you may see some changes. Most of the before and afters that we see, I think, from all the companies are, in my view, again, this is just my opinion, not based on fact. They're all questionable at best. So while there are doctors who I recommend highly or that I would like to work with and who support our message, who utilize lasers in their clinic, whether it's they initially offered the laser comb, laser cap, whatever it is, I still haven't given it the thumbs up from the American Hair Loss Association because while there's anecdotal evidence and there is some clinical data, it doesn't seem strong enough for me to be able to endorse any products or to even the therapy itself. Joe feels differently, I think.
Well, I feel look, I covered this extensively in hair transplant class number 6 here on this YouTube channel. And
how do you even remember what class it was?
I only remember because I shot another video about it today.
Oh,
little clue there.
Yeah.
What we were talking about before, but yeah, the evidence is clear that it can help. But what's also clear is that it's not going to really amount to much compared to other options on the market. If you want to go completely drug free, then sure, pick it up. It can't hurt, we think. There's nothing that indicates that there are any sort of side effects to be concerned about.
Well,
but
there is a side effect of, there are some people who do complain of going through effluviums.
Well, okay. I mean, above and beyond.
Yeah.
I mean, above and beyond anything that actually does anything for your hair. I'm talking about, skin issues or negative side effects that are outside the scope of what you'd find with anything that does anything for your hair. But a telogen effluvium, sure, that can happen, and that's usually what you get if anything is actually starting to work. It's resetting the growth cycle, sometimes more hairs at once than we want, and so you can have a noticeable shed. Those hairs should come back with time.
You know what makes me sad?
As we go through the cycle.
You know what makes me sad? It just makes me sad. And I don't know if anybody's really being helped from this stuff, but some guy in the chat just said he uses Theradome, 3 times a week. And I just see all these poor motherfuckers sitting in their houses with these fucked up helmets on.
That's what I wanted to get into is, the question from George is the helmet versus, I guess, everything else, right?
Well,
it's
the laser comb. What makes sense is as far as the comb is, it's as far as if you want to really get some sort of concentration onto your scalp, it's much better to have more diodes that are concentrating on your scalp. This is the theory, so all at once simultaneously, as opposed to using a comb that is shooting a laser and combing through your hair. So you have a constant concentration. Now, there's a couple of issues with that. If you have a lot of hair, you have to understand that light is going to scatter and reflect off of your hair shafts and off of your hair. It's not going to be able to fully penetrate. So how do you get you talk about mitochondria and you talk about the cellular turnover and you talk about all this stuff. How does the light get there if it's a guy with a lot of hair or a woman with a lot of hair? That's always kind of been my issue on laser because I am in a position where before these helmets and caps and all that stuff were made available to the public, I could have had one of these devices sitting over my Barca lounger and, these big in-house laser hoods. And I could have just watched TV and had that shit, like those big dryer, dryer type things. And I was just like, I just don't see the evidence because I would have. I have no problem with that. Someone walk into my
pepper on your head, so of course you would.
Someone walk in my living room. What's that? That's my hair growing machine. It's magic. So.
Well, I look at it like this, and back to the question. The helmet versus the comb. I think that the comb potentially, because it's separating the hair as you wait for it, comb through your hair. It gets more of the light to the scalp, but it's such a short amount of time.
Right.
With each comb through the hair, I can't see it being as effective. And we're talking a very low baseline here, as effective as a helmet or a hat.
I actually think that we should create it would have to actually be a very big type of device, but where air, just like when your dermatologist checks for skin cancer on your scalp, you use a blow dryer, which that is the worst day of the year for me, by the way. Because I can't put any hairspray or paint on. I have to go there, and I'm just like, I bring a hat because I know if I walked out of there, my hair is just going to be like this. It's going to be fucking bald in the back. But something that creates wind, so their hair stands up and separates in like a big helmet. You look like a Jiffy Pop thing. And then the lasers could penetrate that way. You're laughing, but Joe and I are going to make millions on this.
You guys are too funny, man. Hey, and on the funny side, did anyone see the movie The Shape of Water?
I tried not to.
It's all right. There's a bald segment in there. I forget the guy's name. He's a well-known character actor. He is bald and he wears a toupee, but the creature touches his head, and he finds out that it revitalizes his follicles and it grows hair. Yeah. And the other part, well, you just got to see it. I was cracking up laughing. I thought it was for a balding man. I thought that was funny.
Well, all you need is Creature of the Black Lagoon to touch your head, and you're good.
Yeah, and
that's what he looked like. He looked like a cross between Creature from the Black Lagoon, and then the I forgot the character's name from
the League of Black Gentlemen.
Well, I was going to say Hellboy, his sidekick.
Oh yeah, that one, yeah.
Same director, Guillermo del Toro's. That makes sense. But look, the key actually to avoid that light bouncing off the hair issue with a helmet or a cap is to wet your hair and brush it back while it's wet, and that'll expose the scalp.
Can you hear us, man?
Oh, okay, yeah, I hear you. Okay, right. Well, no, I buzz my hair. I shave my hair all the way to a 1.
Oh, then you're good, man.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm contemplating buying it.
Go ahead. Listen, I'm sure there's someone online who's going to teach you how to make your own. So you could do that.
Yeah. I go on eBay if anything, but I don't know. You look.
You get homemade. You can get DIY PRP. There's a guy that's doing DIY hair transplants. Looks very interesting.
No,
I'm just, dude. First of all, let me put the camera on myself. That's just a joke, guys. Do not do DIY hair transplants or PRP.
No.
Yeah.
Avoid at all costs. But I will say that of all the products out there, personally, I would be looking at a cap because I think the helmets make you look they look ridiculous. I remember there was one out there. I remember they got the model sitting on his couch reading a magazine, and it's got speakers built in. And I think the idea of a helmet. They got caps. You can walk around outside in public. No one knows a damn thing. You look like everyone else with a ball cap on.
But how fucking busy do you have to be to really walk around with that thing? I mean, you got to have some time in front of it. Well, for us,
we could, we work from home or from in an office all the time with no one around. I could wear it here,
right?
But there, why not have the option, right? If I need to run to the store to get something, and it's time for my laser therapy, I put on a cap. I'd much prefer to do that than wear this ridiculous looking helmet. So, but that's just me. It doesn't matter for you because if you work from home, but if you're out and about, get a cap, or if you think that's the option.
You know what? I'm going to get a laser hood for the show, and I'm just going to have it on all the time, like a hairdryer, while I'm doing the show. And I'll find the company who wants to essentially sponsor the program, and that's it. I'll sit here with a dryer on my head.
I'm convinced. I don't think there'll ever be a cure or any way to get hair back without surgery.
Dude, why bring down the room like that? Why bring down the room like that? You got to have some hope. Give these kids some hope, man.
George is a buzzkill, man.
Give these kids some hope.
Guys.
Look, listen.
All right.
Cigarettes don't cause lung cancer, and there will be a cure for hair loss. Okay.
All right. Okay. All right.
Actually, that's a fucked up thing. I do believe at some point there will be more effective treatments, for sure. We are closer than a lot of people realize, But there are going to be treatments.
Only 5 years away.
Yeah, there are going to be treatments. They're going to be treatments. But you know what? You know what's a really effective treatment that all you motherfuckers are afraid to take, and I understand why. It's finasteride. Shit works.
Yeah, the one.
It works.
Anything that makes my dick go limp, I can't have that, dude.
Well, then you better not have any Jack Daniels. All right, man.
Well, anyway, good
All right.
to hear from you guys.
You take care.
All right.
Thanks for calling, George.
888-659-3727 is the toll-free number. Look, guys, I got nothing against you guys trying out lasers and shit like that. I just want you to try to find something that really works. And I know, like, you know, we had Alan Bauman on the show the other day. He's a big fan of lasers, one of the original, you know, the OG laser guys, and everybody has jumped on board. And I know that Jerry Cooley has had some success with lasers and some other really, really well-respected doctors who believe in low-level laser light therapy for hair loss. I've seen some pictures, you know, but it's so few and far between
that's the thing to take away from this. I was going to say it's like this. The video I was telling you about yesterday. I finally shot it today, by the way, right before we went on air, and that was one of my points. Is, you know, there are some photos out there, like good photos.
By the way, did you get that information? Did you get that information? Because you were busy, apparently.
Yes, okay. I did. Yeah,
I didn't want to disturb you. Dude, don't put the do not disturb thing on there. Just go offline.
That's what's on yours. What are you talking about? It's been like that for 2 weeks.
Really?
Oh, you didn't know?
I did not know. Fucking
pot meat kettle.
That is not nice. You're right. It is.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what the hell was I saying?
I don't know.
So
let's take a phone call.
Yeah, the photos about the lasers. There's some great photos out there. And there's one in particular I saw where the guy sent me just to say, hey, look what it did for me. But these are exceptions, not the rule. These are, like Spencer said, few and far in between. You can't count on that kind of result. They are rare. At best, it might hang on to some hair. No, at best, you might get a little bit of improvement, but don't expect much.
Look, this is not hyperbole. You know, if I made the decision, and I may make this decision one day, there are companies who have come to me and they've offered me a tremendous amount of money per annum to essentially endorse their product, to provide the American Hair Loss Association seal. More money than a lot of guys will ever make per year in their lives. Now, that is not, again, to sound like, holy shit, you know, I make all this money. This is what was offered that I stupidly turned down because I'm trying to do the right thing here, which, again, it's not going to, no one's going to, you guys, when I die, that's the sad part. You guys are just going to disappear.
We just lost the stream.
We lost the stream. What the hell happened? I see that. Hold on. Is it up again?
Not yet. Yes, there it is.
Okay. Sorry, guys, you lost the stream for a second. That's fucking weird. That was a weird thing.
Yeah, it was.
But it's not. It's certainly not to say like, oh wow, look at all the money that I make. It's what, you know. And again, I do know that when I die, it's going to be like there's going to be a bunch of guys that'll be like, oh yeah, he really did a lot for the field, and then it's gone. It means nothing. So the truth is, my father's right. I probably should have taken the money because all of you guys are just walking around like idiots with these helmets on anyway. So why shouldn't I be getting paid for it? But
exactly.
But you know, I mean, there may be a day when I do, and that's just if I see enough value and enough evidence and real value for the consumer, and maybe if something comes along that's going to be more reasonable as far as price, because we know how cheap these things really are. Most of them are made, even if they're assembled here in the U.S., they are very inexpensive. There's nothing wrong with making a good profit. You have advertising costs, you have salaries, you have all this stuff. You know, you got to have good margins.
Yeah.
But you know, I think it's ridiculous to spend $3,000 for some sort of a laser cap. I'm sorry.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But I'm the same way as you. It's like if I see something that's worthwhile, I'll push it, but I'll tell people that I'm making a buck from it.
Yeah.
Because you have to. FTC demands it.
Well, you do have to, and that's why I find it funny when people are like, "Yeah, you guys are just selling hair transplants. You're scammers. No one knows that you're making money through this." And that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
I know.
It's kind of like, dude, we know that you're some fucking either somebody in this industry, or somebody's just regurgitating some bullshit, or just some sad, bitter guy, some online guy who is in love with somebody in the industry that hates Joe or me. Probably Joe, but anyway.
Probably me.
Phone number is 888-659-3727. Dude, you got to embrace your haters. I told you that. I said when you started, it's only going to get worse. You got to enjoy it and realize that your haters help you earn and help you get your message out to the world. So keep it coming, guys. Hey, man, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from? Hey, man, that's you.
This is Ball Jerry.
Ball J?
Ball Jerry.
Ball Jerry. Holy shit, Ball Jerry.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
I was like, because I had heard your show had been on more recently, and I was like, I wonder. I know it's on Tuesdays. I'll check it out and see if you guys are. But yeah, it was good. So I called in, and here I am.
Wow.
So here we are.
So what's new? How you been?
What's new, man?
Well, pretty good. It's interesting, that you guys have been talking about the laser, because I do talk to Joe from Staten Island once in a while, and there's one thing that's Spencer said one thing about because Joe claims that the laser cap made him lose his hair.
Right. I would say what probably happened was he was using a combination of a minoxidil preparation and the laser cap, and he probably lost his hair, in my view, or whatever he was holding on to from the minoxidil preparation, and he just stopped using it, and that's it.
Yeah.
We warned him. We warned him. We were like, dude.
Well,
if every hair counts on your head, first of all,
don't commit unless you want to commit.
Yeah, what I don't understand about Joe, and I love the guy, and I'm glad you're in touch with him, is that he walks around with a bandage and a cap on anyway.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and I don't talk to him all the time. He went through a phase where after he used the laser cap, he was in a really bad spot. But I talked to him recently, and he said he's been going outside a little bit more. He's been visiting his parents, going to the movies. But for a while, it was really, really bad.
Well,
you know what I mean?
What is getting out?
Go ahead.
You just got to get outside, get some sun or something like that. And then he claims he was very happy, though, beforehand, which I'm telling him, I'm like, no, you weren't. I knew you beforehand. You weren't actually happy before.
I don't mean to laugh, but his whole shtick was being miserable and being a recluse and not being able to get out of bed and just eat 7 steaks a day and drink, and take benzos and drink alcohol.
Yeah, and he said he was happy then, and I'm like, no, actually, I knew you then, so I can tell you weren't actually happy. You know what I mean? So
wow.
I'm like,
I miss. When you speak to him, tell him we miss him, man. He should call the program. I mean, I was asked by certain people to reach out to him, and I'm just like, look, he listens to the show. He knows that I want him to be well, and the thing is, he's a grown man with a family, and he has much more of a support system. Listen, I mean, look at a guy like me. Everybody in my family's dead. I got nothing as far as family's concerned. This guy's got a wife, kids, parents, all kinds of a support system. If the Ball Truth is his only support system, or if I'm his only support system, or if he's threatening to jump and then it's my responsibility to get him off that ledge, I've been trying to do that for 20 years. That's why we allowed him to be a part of the program, to contribute every week.
Yeah, and I'd say as within I would say up to more recently, the last couple of weeks, he was literally not he didn't know the show was going on. He didn't have the internet. You know what I mean? It was like that. It was just, so I think now that he's getting out a little bit more, he mentioned he watched the last show. You know what I mean?
Good.
And,
that's good. And he should call, Joe, if you're watching the show now, you should call in. We miss you. And
love to hear from him.
Love to hear from you. And, we play your opening still for this guy, George from Staten Island, because someone's got to take your place.
There's no Joe from Staten Island.
Yeah, there's no Joe.
I actually tried to call him, and I was gonna try to three-way call, but it went straight to his voicemail. He's probably asleep or something like that. But
you may have passed out.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll listen to the replay.
But
yeah,
so how are you? How are you? What's going on with you?
Doing all right. The last time I called in, I took that RU 58841.
Yeah.
I took this stuff over 5 years ago, and it fucked with my hormones. I'm not gonna lie. And I took it when I should have quit taking it, but I was so happy to see that my hair quit falling out in the shower. But I could tell my body was going through. I was like, yeah, whatever. Everything that you take, if you quit taking it, the effects wear off, right?
That's correct.
So then I kept. That's what I thought. But the hormones are the exception. You fuck with your hormones too much, it kind of so it's getting better. But that's my hair is actually kind of stayed. I'm using minoxidil now with the derma roller, but I don't really take any anti-androgens, and it's kind of it's better now than it was 5 years ago. But for 4 of those 5 years, I didn't do anything. And but also for 2 of those 5 years, I couldn't get an erection hardly if I really, really tried. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, actually, I don't know what you mean, but I've heard other people talk about this thing.
Why these post-finasteride syndrome guys, I took finasteride, and it was I didn't really notice anything, but I can kind of sympathize with them because maybe there's something truth to that, because some people are more sensitive than others.
I believe there's truth to it. I believe there is a real subset. These guys are anomalies, and it's true. I mean, there's no doubt. But my concern is just the fear that a lot of guys have, and also the psychosomatic effects when a guy says Joe said, wasn't there a guy that just touched the bottle, or was that Spence who said that? Somebody said they just touched a pill or touched a bottle and they couldn't get an erection.
There was a guy that, I listened to. Yeah, there was a guy on YouTube, though, that has a few videos, and I listened to him, and he had one pill, and then he was 30 years old, and he took one pill, and then apparently, he quit his job and contemplated suicide. I'm like, no, I just don't see that personally. I don't know. I mean,
the mind is an extremely powerful thing.
Yeah.
Sadly, most of us are unable to use that same negative power to create positive energy for ourselves. It's a lot easier to freak out about shit. And listen, I'm a total hypochondriac, or at least I was. I'm much better now that I'm older. But I am one of these guys who, I got OCD, all kinds of shit. And I was told a lot of things about this drug prior to taking it. It was, some of the potential side effects were even scarier because there were doctors who felt, because there were other types of benign prostate hyperplasia drugs that were even more potent as far as feminizing effects. So the doctors, when I first started to consider taking this, they were all saying, look, this is going to feminize you. Almost everyone gets gynecomastia. You were too young to take this. This will make you infertile, all this stuff. As fucked up as I am about all that stuff, I just popped that pill like it was nothing.
Yeah, because we think it's all bullshit anyways when they say it. And they told me the same thing when I got dutasteride, because dutasteride worked for me for 5 years, and it was really good. But at the same time, I do remember that, but it does, some of this stuff does increase your libido. You just have to pick and choose your battles, I think, a little bit. If you see a little bit less ejaculate, or if you see, you're just not, always running on 10. But when I took dutasteride, I enjoyed it because I was I had a little bit of relief. I wasn't always so, you know what I mean? It's kind of nice a little bit, and you can still perform, but then. And I thought when I took RU58841, it was the same thing, but it was now it just sticks around. And it's funny, I don't know anybody else that's taking RU that has the same experience.
I think it depends on where you get. A lot of people who are using RU are not getting legitimate RU. I mean, it's all gray market shit. So they don't even know what the fuck they're putting on their head. That's what's scary about this.
Yeah.
This whole community.
Not to mention you have to mix it. I mean, it doesn't come in like, correct me if I'm wrong, I've never ordered myself, but it doesn't come pre-mixed. You have to mix it yourself. Is that right?
It comes in like a white powder.
Yeah.
And then from what I remember, keep in mind this was over 5 years ago. So it comes in like a white powder, and then you mix it with propylene glycol. And
right, but how do you know? I mean, obviously, what you got was legitimate because it affected you. You felt the effects.
Yeah.
But how do people know what the fuck they're getting? They don't. They have no clue what they're getting.
Well, I don't know. You don't know. It's like you really don't know unless your body like reacts to it like mine did. But if your body's there's a reason it didn't make it to the market. Like, I mean, like it went through stage 2 trials, and I have a friend that's a doctor. He went into his like medical library and his medical campus, and he like all these stages have been removed, like the details, and he's like, that's not a good sign. He's like, yeah, you should not take that stuff. Like I would not recommend that. RU5841. Like, I just don't think it's...
You have to understand that Rousseau, these were early days. So the fact that Rousseau pulled the plug had nothing to do with Merck's performance of the drug, because at the time, Merck was performing very well as far as the sale of finasteride and Propecia. So this was on the cusp. They were actually doing trials and testing this agent around the same time that Merck was doing tests for Propecia. So... Yeah. They were essentially on the same track, and when Propecia jumped off, they were selling a lot of pills. So it did obviously taper down because of all the stuff that started around 2004, 2005. Things have changed, but yeah. So I would agree with your doctor friend, and I tell people all the time, there's no fucking way. And I've done some crazy shit in my life.
Yeah,
like if someone offered me, like when I was like 16, 17 years old, they could hand me a button at a bar, wherever I was, and I would take it.
Yeah.
You know?
You're like, fuck it.
Yeah. Whatever it is. Yeah, sure, why not?
And that's my mentality too. And then I was like, oh, really? So things can have long consequences. And then, but it's getting better. Like I don't know. It's not, I remember the last time I was struggling, I called in, I was struggling with every time you like a pro-stop transvestite. You know what I mean? I had mentioned that. You
were struggling with becoming a transvestite? I think you just dropped. Your phone is dropping.
No, every time I met like a post-op transvestite, I was struggling because it was like, oh, it's harder for me now to like feel in the moment.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it kind of like, even if you nail everything perfect with somebody, like you made the perfect post-op tranny, you know what I mean? And everything's going great.
Yeah.
And then you go, and then like...
Now, just so you know, guys, you think that we're being trolled right now. We're not being trolled. This is his thing.
No.
He likes
this is my,
he likes chicks with cranks who have the cranks cut off.
Yeah. Post-op. There's a big difference.
Post-saw, yeah.
Post-saw. He wants post-op trannies. So essentially, he likes women who are born as men who have decided to do the full Monty. And that's your thing. Now, what do you think that is? I'm just curious, and I'm trying to figure it out, and I'm not trying to be funny about this. Basically, this is a person with a vagina, a man-made vagina.
Man-made, yep.
And feminine characteristics, breast implants, hormones, all that stuff, but who's once a man. What is it about that compared to a real, or I should say a naturally born woman that you and Joe prefer?
I just find it interesting. I think Joe would agree. Like that's the best way to describe it. It's just something interesting about it. You know what I mean? But Joe and I are neither one of us are gay, though. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not.
No.
Listen, I don't even understand. I understand homosexuality, and I understand chicks with cranks. That's actually, I could actually understand that. What I'm trying to wrap my brain around is the just that particular brand of wanting to fuck this particular type of person because she's essentially a woman now. So it's like, what's the difference?
I don't know. It's just something interesting about it. I think in general, like, I don't know. It's, I mean, what is...
I want to know because if it's really good, maybe, I don't care. I'll do it. What do I give a shit?
Well, I would recommend just checking it out. Like, I don't know that, like... I don't know,
is it like because you could talk sports afterwards? I mean, is that it?
I don't know. I mean, it's
just a thing. It's
a proclivity.
I think. I mean, everyone's got certain things about what turns them on. And
look,
for Jerry,
I like female mimes. I don't know what that's
looks
about.
like a woman, walks like a woman. In some cases, sounds like a woman, even though isn't a naturally born woman. But something about it just
there's something interesting about that.
Yeah,
I think we
turns his crank.
No, I was saying I like female mimes, and that's a weird thing too. So, just saying.
Yeah.
That was like a lead fucking balloon in this room, man.
It really was.
It
really was. But no, it is an interesting question. But I mean, it's not my thing, but I understand how different people have different buttons that when they're pressed, it makes sense for them, right? And so I think it's cool that you're so open about it. I don't know if you're open about it in your day-to-day life. What's that?
I don't go around telling people that in the grocery store or at work.
Of course not. Yeah, you have a price check. And by the way, this guy likes post-op trainings.
Yeah. You don't have a shirt that says I like post-ops? We'll get you one from the Bald Truth. Dude, Johnny, it's always a pleasure talking to you. I'm glad that you've reconnected to the show. And I really hope that you guys... I said Jerry, right?
You said Johnny.
Oh, Johnny. Jerry. Sorry. Yeah. I am getting old. So if you can, when you contact Joe again, I'm sure he'll be in contact. He may be watching or listening. Have him call in. See if you can get him to do that.
I will. If you guys have... Yeah, if the show's going on,
the show's going on every week, every Tuesday at the same time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And we're actually going to be doing a second show that is going to be an impromptu thing. What you might want to do, just so that you're notified, is go to Joe Tillman's Hair Transplant Mentor YouTube page and subscribe. And this way you'll be notified when the show's live.
You got to click the bell. You subscribe and then click the bell. It's a two-step process now. But yeah, you'll be notified. But same number for Joe to call in.
Yeah,
it hasn't changed.
All right, man.
Sounds good. I'll tell him you guys, because you guys brought him up earlier before I even called in. So,
dude,
you know what I mean?
We missed the guy. I mean, I don't know what his reasoning is to stay away. Some shit happened in his head, man.
He was in some bad shape, kind of bad shape. Like he claims that when he used to be part of the show, he claims that he was very happy back then. And I was like, no, but then he actually did go to a place where there was no computer. There was no drinking. He quit the Xanax. It was it was just sitting. It was not good. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I told him, you got to drink more. You got to take Xanax. You got to get in the sun. You got to go out. You know what I mean? But so he was in a very, very bad place. But I would say within the last couple of weeks, last time I talked to him, he said he was taking Xanax and drinking wine again. So I was like, sweet, good for you. You know what I mean?
Well, at least we know he's healthy.
Yeah.
All right, man. Listen, take care of yourself, and I'm glad you called. And call. We're on every week, man. So
yeah.
All right, stick around.
Good hearing from you, Jerry.
All right, Jerry, take care.
We'll talk to you.
And next time, get a better phone.
Does it not sound good?
It's breaking up.
It is.
Oh, you know what? It's just today. It's something about the weather here.
Yeah. All right, man. You take care. All right. Bye-bye.
See you.
All right. Okay.
Phone number is 888-659-3727. Again, guys, we are here as long as you guys call in. So give us a call here, and we will answer your questions, talk about your concerns. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, if all the phones are not lit up, I'm calling tonight. I'm going to get some early dinner and maybe a couple of drinks and have I got a buddy here, a childhood friend who is staying with us. And, why the fuck would I hang out with Joe doing the show when I could be out having a good steak dinner? 888-659-3727 is the toll-free number. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
I just noticed something that in one of your interviews with John Candy, I believe, it looked like an older interview, you had less hair than you have today. How do you explain that?
I don't wear a wig, sir.
Paint your bald spot?
What bald spot?
You paint your bald spot?
I don't know what you're talking about, sir. My hair grows.
You paint your bald spot?
I don't have a bald spot.
How come you had less hair on the tape?
Maybe my hair grew. Maybe I had a bad haircut that day. By the way, something. What do you care?
Paint your bald spot?
I don't. Do you paint your bald spot?
Paint your bald spot?
You sick, 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 sick.
Now the world don't move.
What time does the show come on? 9 where? Well, what's the name of the show? And what's the name of him? Okay. Well, turn it on then. Jesus. Okay. All right, is it recording? Okay. Hey there, this is Gary Coleman. I don't have any idea what this is about, but you're watching... What? No, not watching. Let me do that again. Take 2. Hey, this is Gary Coleman. I have no idea what this is about, and I think people just need to learn to respect themselves and other people respect who's bald. You're listening to The Bald Truth. That's 2. All right, fine, but this is it. Otherwise, he's going to have to go in his wallet. All right, here you go. Take 3. Ready? This is Gary Coleman, and you're listening to Spencer Kobren on The Bald Truth.
Hey guys, welcome back. 888-659-3727 is the toll-free number. We're live. I was going to say, Jesus, I was going to say XM Satellite Radio. I mean, what's going on with my brain, dude?
I don't know, man. It's one of those days.
I was about to say we were live.
Time to settle in.
XM Satellite Radio 152. I was about to give the call letters and the number of the station. 97.1 FM, the FM talk station.
There you go.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, we're on the fucking internet. Welcome. Welcome everyone who's listening to us on iHeartRadio, who's listening to The Bald Truth through Joe Tillman and watching The Bald Truth through Joe Tillman's Hair Transplant Mentor YouTube page. Guys, please subscribe to our Hair Loss Podcast page that we are building. We put up a little bit more content. We need more subscribers. There's going to be a lot of great content that you guys should see. You guys can... I guess, how do you share on YouTube? I mean, this is an old man move. I got to ask, can you share your shit on YouTube, or you got to like go on your Facebook page, share it on Facebook so that people could see that? How does that work?
No, you can share. Yeah, you can share share from Facebook or from YouTube onto other social media like Twitter, Facebook,
that you
LinkedIn,
can.
all that
Yeah, but is there a way, like within the Facebook community, the YouTube community, to share videos?
Within Facebook?
Within YouTube. Not within Facebook.
YouTube. Share on Facebook through YouTube.
No. Just to share YouTube to YouTube. Person to person on YouTube.
Yes. Copy and paste a link into another YouTube channel video in the description field or in the comments field. That's it.
All right, guys, then do that. Do what Joe just said.
Something like that, yeah.
The bottom line is we need to get this information across to those who are really in need of the truth. And the truth is that most of the shit that you see on YouTube is bullshit when it comes to hair loss. First of all, no doctor spends their time making YouTube videos if they're not trying to get you through their door. Understand that. Now, that doesn't mean... This is point 2. That's a bad thing because there's some good doctors who are getting some traffic out there and getting some information out to the public via YouTube. But just because they are the most popular, the most populated, the most subscribed to on whatever the social media platform is, it doesn't mean that they're good. It means bullshit. It doesn't matter if they're on a cover of a magazine. It doesn't matter how many articles. I mean, there's just a plastic surgeon. She's a nice-looking woman, and she's developed a very successful practice. And I see all these photo shoots and these red carpets things and all these like sexy photo shoots with her, the big syringe and all this shit. And so the world gravitates to that shit, thinking that she is the best. Now, I'm not saying she's not great at what she does. I'm not saying that she may be the best in her area. I don't know, actually, to tell you the truth. But in general, there's no correlation between who is the best marketed, who is the most attractive and seems to has the best PR company to get them in these magazines, or who has the biggest YouTube following, and the final result. It means absolutely nothing. There's no correlation whatsoever.
What it is a correlation with is, like you were saying, the marketing companies that work for these doctors have hired. It's like, how do you think these magazines find out about these doctors? It's because they've got marketing companies reaching out to them and pitching ideas for articles and spreads and things like that. It's not like these magazines just happen to know of someone. There are cases where certain people in magazines or at magazine publishers do have certain go-to people,
right?
And then they say, "Hey, who do you know that's good in this or good in that? We're looking to do something," and then they're led down the path to basically the squeaky wheel, the ones that have the biggest presence because of their marketing companies. It means nothing for quality. It means nothing for ethics. And you really need to look at this closely and never forget that the number one qualifier for any sort of cosmetic surgery that you're considering, hair transplantation or anything, are the results. The people that have the most exposure do not necessarily have the best bedside manner, the best surgical skill, the best ethics, the best follow-up. They can be, but it doesn't. It's not hand in hand. It's not synonymous. So you got to be careful with that.
Look, all I can tell you is, there are some good doctors who are in in-flight magazines with their arms folded or wearing, their glasses, the chin pose. Some of those guys are really good, yeah, and some of those guys really suck. And there's no, anyone who claims that they're honored to be in the Delta in-flight magazine as a top doc is bullshitting you. Because all they were able to do is pay for that honor. That's the reality of the situation.
I'm honored to be stuck in the back of the coach seat in front of you.
Right. That's it. And, this is not, there was interesting, and guys, I'll take your call in a second, 888-659-3727. Our friend Bassem Farjo in the United Kingdom tweeted something out the other day. And again, he's an IHRS recommended doctor. I happen to like him very much. He's a very nice man, and he's a friend of the Bald Truth. Supports what we do as much as we support, his philosophy. And he tweeted out that there was a BBC special report that investigated. I'm not going to name the companies, but investigated a lot of online review companies and saw how easy it was to actually purchase 5-star reviews, whether it was medical stuff, whether it was selling a product or service, books, all that stuff. And he wrote something, and I don't have it in front of me, to the effect of, tweeted, I always suspected this, but here's the evidence. And I'm thinking to myself, wake up, dude. You've always suspected it. We've been talking about this for fucking ever. Yeah. You guys have actually contributed to it without even fucking knowing it. Even though you were told that this is what was happening, you guys are paying for it to happen. It's the craziest thing in the fucking world. And I like this guy. But it's that whole go along to get along mentality. And the reason why these things have evolved, now we started very early on. At the time when things started, reviews were all on the independent online message forums, at least in our field.
Yeah.
And anybody could write any kind of shit. I was the only one who had the fucking balls to say, you know what, we can't allow this to happen because this is all bullshit. All of these comments are nonsense. We have no idea where they're coming from. Anyway, I just thought that tweet was funny to me. It's like all of a sudden, after years.
It is funny, but at the same time, with all due respect to Dr. Farjo, I know him too. I mean, I agree. He is a really nice man, does some solid work. Obviously, IAHRS accepted member, but it's this kind of observation that makes me scratch my head and say, why haven't you noticed this before? We've been talking about this for years.
Listen, anybody who is dumb enough, and I'm looking at basically the world it works by attrition at this point, especially with the online world. Anyone who's dumb enough to make a decision based on an online review for cosmetic surgery is a fucking idiot. Period.
Online reviews where the reviewers are anonymous.
End of subject.
Yeah.
If someone comes on full face video and says, I went to Dr. So-and-so and look at my results, and you can contact me, I'm a real person, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But the vast majority of both positive and negative reviews, sadly, in this world, whether you are buying a toaster oven or you're buying, whatever, now cosmetic surgery, are false. I'll give you an example. I've had shit reviewed. I have best-selling books on the market. And when I was going through dealing with this crazy physician, there's also this other person I don't want to mention, who is they're both no longer allowed to practice their trade anymore. But they decided to write some online reviews for The Bald Truth, which I never really followed up on. Someone pointed something out today to me, which I thought was funny. So I brought my ranking down from a 5 to a 3. Doesn't make a difference anyway. I've sold so many of those books. If anyone's stupid enough to buy the book now after 20 years, then, and it's still selling, just to tell you. It doesn't matter because they read these reviews. So basically one person writes a review, and I actually know who the person is, basically saying all Kobren talks about is witch's brew and some other thing, and 20 pages of the book were missing. And then there's another review that's similar to that. And then one review says, why would you listen to a guy with, such fucked up hair who's 50 years old and thinks he's cool and he's not cool, all this stuff. And now, those are very obvious reviews. So anyone who reads that realizes this is a guy with a stick up his ass.
That's awesome.
But that's just visible. So part of me left that on there to use as an example of what people do. Now, in the real world of reviews, and that's this guy's outer space sick world, and that's why I kind of allowed it to stay on there. The reviews aren't that obvious.
Right.
And there are companies, I can contact a company right now that I'm aware of, and I can get as many reviews as I want on Amazon, pay that price. These guys would be verified purchasers, and that's it. It's simple as that. I don't need to sell anything, so there's no reason for me to do that. But the same goes for, I hate to say it, I'm not even mentioning a site, mainstream cosmetic surgery sites and message forums are one of the most dangerous places to get your information. If it's not a fully moderated forum, I don't care what people say, you are in a fucking dangerous place. Let's take a phone call. Hey, man, you are on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Nick from Detroit. How's it going?
Hey, Nick. What's happening,
Nick.
man? Fucking
it's been
Detroit.
It's been a while since I spoke with you guys.
Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, how are you?
People are still living in Detroit.
Yeah.
Where'd you move away and move back?
No, listen.
I'm still here.
I was thinking about I could buy a town there for like a couple $100,000.
Exactly.
We could start like Baldville. That'd be fucking awesome.
Baldville.
Just like we'd have like it would be like just full of hookers and balding guys. We'll make like a retreat. Anyway, go ahead.
That sounds like you got a game plan.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
I was just letting you guys know that I've been spreading the message around as well after listening to you guys. I had a friend's younger brother. He's a little bit younger, around 24. I mean, I'm not too old myself. I'll be turning 30 this year. But wow, I guess this is something I've never really realized it until after listening to you guys, how much hair loss really affects people. And
dude, look at me. Look how affected I am. I do this for a living.
Yep.
And
that's the thing is after speaking to him, I told him too, like, one, stay the fuck off of any type of thing from like things on YouTube, because he's gone down that route of trying to do anything and everything to, save his hair. And I told him the first thing you should do before you do that is, one, to listen to you guys and call in, and two, go on preventative. But if you're going to do it, try to do something like, Propecia, maybe the topical if you're concerned, microdosing it if you're concerned, like what you guys said is then doing like maybe a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But I said the last thing you should probably do is a freaking hair transplant. I mean, that
absolutely
he's so young.
Thing. Yeah, well said.
And that's the thing is the marketing that is going, especially in our area, that I guess I've noticed from like a kid and to now. I mean, holy shit, they're hammering the living shit on like every day when I'm driving to work. It's like, are you a man with thinning hair or balding or this?
Well, I gotta tell you,
we'll give you a full head of hair.
That's actually a market that you want to buy airtime in because it's so fucking cheap. So, I mean, all the hair guys are going to be buying airtime in the Detroit area. And, I mean, radio's dying. I was on an FM talk station in Detroit that actually the signal went up. A lot of people from Canada used to call. And I remember I was brokering time, and I remember how cheap 2 hours. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, are you kidding me? I was able to sell it for like 30 times that. And this, we're talking about 9 years ago. So, you're going to get the lowest common denominator of advertisers on the radio, and it's going to be hair people.
Yep. And the thing is, too, is I was trying to explain to him as well, because I actually had a friend's dad who's involved into Photoshop. That's the thing is he knows one of the guys that's actually from the picture, and he said, well, first of all, that guy's had multiple procedures, which you're not being told about from the picture.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, look, this guy had a procedure, and it's like he's had 3 of them. And, and at the same time, the kid thinks that, his progression is way, way worse from what the other guys is. And he's thinking that it's a quick fix. Like, you can just go in and, like, bada bing, bada boom, this is done. Like, it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that for anybody, actually. And unless you're extremely fortunate and all the stars are aligned, you are the perfect storm. And that's possible that one procedure can get you to where you need to be, at least for a short period of time. But once you go down that route, that's it. Once you are cut, you are cut. And people have to understand that all you're going to see and this goes for any form of cosmetic surgery or advertising in general, but when you're dealing with your body, altering your body, through cosmetic surgery, you're only going to see the best possible results and at the best angle. And sometimes, sadly, while they can claim that these are untouched or unretouched, as they say, photographs, some of these people are being photographed with makeup in their hair. Some of these people are just, the lighting is slightly off.
Sometimes it's drastically off.
Yeah. I mean, I did a presentation, and actually the person who provided me the images for this presentation many years ago was Joe Tillman. And essentially it was just a lighting difference. And it's on YouTube. You can find it. It's got, I don't know, a few 100,000 views. I don't even know I don't even know what the name of it is. But
I don't know, some interview that you were in. It was
it's an old channel that I had, so it's not the bald truth. Anyway, it's basically the truth.
Like 10 years ago.
It's like the truth about before and after images. And the bottom line is, we showed one image on the left, one image on the right, and it looked clear, like it was a before and after image. But those images were taken 10 seconds apart, just with slightly different lighting.
Yeah,
and that is the major trick of the trade, man. So. Yeah. You're giving this guy good advice. All these young cats out there have to understand that there are limitations. You need to see patients in person.
That's exactly what I told him too. And it was, I told him that, if you're having concerns about these medications, I mean, anything and everything can give you a side effect depending on the person. Everyone's different in how they react. And I was trying to explain to him on the fact that just because you're looking at a picture of somebody and in person, your hair characteristics are not the same in any way, shape, or form.
Your skin characteristics, your healing characteristics, your physiology is completely different.
And I said that, 24 is a young age. Try to get onto something preventative and see what you progress to. And then if it's something that still bothers you, maybe like when you're closer to your 30s or in your 30s, like consider a procedure. But, the thing is the expectations are just you think that you can go from, a pretty substantial hair loss to like all of a sudden a full head of hair, and that's where it's like I don't think you quite understand what your hair is gonna look like into what you can get.
You've also got another issue where it's not just the advertising and the marketing. It's also what your friend is probably used to, because you said he's 24.
Yeah, he's 24.
Yeah, so I mean, it wasn't that long ago that he had a full head of hair, and so, when younger guys like that are going for a hair transplant, they're used to, or they expect to have something close to what they only recently had a few years prior. As you get older, you understand how that works better. You have a better understanding of reality, and fewer men in their 30s are looking for the hairline that they had when they're 18, with the matching density to go along with it in the coverage. So I think he did a great thing, not just by giving him the advice about the preventative medications, but also on how to research hair restoration and to take his time and to wait till later in life when he's in a better position emotionally and mentally to go through such a thing.
There's so many guys that are willing to. I don't mean to interrupt. There's so many guys who are willing to prey on a vulnerable 24-year-old like this poor kid. And I hear so many excuses when I speak to guys, even guys who have really good reputations, who are like, well, I mean, there are cases of young men who really can benefit from hair transplantation. And the truth is, maybe there are a few, but in general, they know that down the line it was a mistake. They should never have really worked on this person. They may have gotten them through a couple of years if they lucked out. But so many young guys are just ill-equipped to deal with what the results are really going to be like. The best result is still, it could look natural, 100% natural, but it's still not going to look like your hair used to look. You just can't get that back. That's gone forever. I'm sorry to depress you guys, but that's just the reality of it.
That's reality.
Yeah,
and that's the thing is I was trying to tell him that this is something you can't be impulsive. It's kind of like when we listen to the radio, we get things of like, oh, come in for LASIK eye surgery, Yaldo Center, they do it for $500 an eye. It's like that's. Like, okay, like I'm gonna trust my eyes to somebody based off an advertisement I heard in 2 seconds. Like based on
coming in because it's cheap.
Look,
come in for a sale.
First of all, if someone's advertising on the radio, honestly, unless it's a very specific type of a situation, like I was very lucky because I was able to, in a low brow world, and radio, I have to say, and I could say it now, it's dying. Was really the lowest common denominator of advertisers. That's just the way. You had some big names, AMCO, the Hong Kong AAMCO, and the stuff that you heard on the radio all the time. But in general, especially local advertising, it was kind of lowest common denominator, and they really went for, just the less sophisticated consumer. And that is just the way. That's just the way that it is, man. It's sad. It's just. God almighty. I just wish people... Yeah. People want to hear what they want to hear. They want to hear that they could be fixed. They don't want to hear the truth. We go out there and tell them the truth. They think we have some sort of agenda to tell them the truth. The agenda is, look, we don't want to see you get fucked up. And it may suck. He's 24 years old. His life's not going to be easy if he doesn't like dealing with hair loss, and most guys don't. It's not going to be easy, but he has to either come to terms with it in some way, or like get some cool hats, work hard, make a lot of fucking money.
I think I think he'll be fine. I mean, he looks decent with a shaved head. The thing I don't like is the videos that he watches on YouTube like some of these pieces of shit are making claims that like, oh, this product does this and this, and they're lying the fact that they did get a hair transplant, but they're not saying it. Yeah. And that's where it's just, to me, like, you want to talk about being dishonest. It's like, you like see a guy that had no hairline, then magically it shows up and all that, and this product did that.
It's the Wild West now, just like the forums were years ago, because it's free. It's free advertising.
Yep.
And you've got a lot of guys on YouTube right now that are, some of them have, very good intentions. Some of them don't. And the problem is that a lot of the guys out there that are giving out this information, whether it's for, altruistic reasons or to make a buck, a lot of it's wrong. I actually made a video today. I haven't edited it, so it's not uploaded, but it'll be uploaded in the next couple of days about the cure for hair loss. Some dipshit was saying he's found the cure for hair loss. And he's got this list of ingredients that everyone knows about. He's calling it the cure for hair loss. And what he doesn't realize, or maybe he doesn't give a shit, I don't know, is that some of the things that he's talking about are actually not good for you and can be harmful. And it's this kind of thing that I think is helping to push the level of information, or the quality of information, backward, just like so many other things that are also doing it.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to take another call, but I absolutely appreciate you taking the time to call in and tell and spread the word and let your friend know what reality is. Turn them on to the broadcast. I just hope
he had a question for you guys.
Yeah, what's that?
This is actually an interesting one. I'll hang up after it though, but
that's fine.
Whey protein isolate versus whey protein concentrate. He was reading an article on that and about whey protein isolate for some reason potentially speeding up hair loss.
Well, here's the thing. That article, there's a guy by the name of Dr. Shapiro who has a whey protein concentrate product that is supposed to help with hair growth. And his claims are that whey protein isolate can actually exacerbate hair loss. Now, what's the reality of that? Well, there's more casein in whey protein isolate. I guess it's possible that it can cause more of a testosterone response, and there's probably some other issues. I don't know, Joe, if you know anything about this. No. I can tell you how fucked up I am, and I'm not that impressionable. I happen to use whey protein concentrate anyway. So when I read this article, my first human response was, okay, I'm doing the right thing. But I know there's no logic to it. It doesn't make any fucking sense. So I wouldn't worry about it. But if he is worried about it, it's really easy to get whey protein concentrate. Go to Naked Whey. Get a product called Naked Whey. That's whey protein concentrate. Is it concentrate?
I don't know.
Is that the word? Is isolate
whey protein? I think so. It sounds right. Yeah, it sounds right.
But it's the good stuff that they claim is not going to affect your hair. I believe that it was kind of like a marketing ploy. There's a lot of peer-reviewed journals that are essentially all you do is have to present, create, basically send in an abstract. And if the editors find it interesting, you're going to be in there. I'll give you an example. I've been invited to write in a peer-reviewed journal an article. I'm not a fucking doctor. Now, I'm honored that they're asking me to do this. They want to get my perspective as someone who has their finger on the pulse of the industry and who's been a consumer advocate for so long. But it's going to be a sexy article, whatever it is. But the truth is, that's what editors are looking for.
Yeah.
So, and that's a sexy article. You're dealing with something that, is out there in such huge amounts as far as whey protein isolate. Every bar has whey protein isolate. Almost every shake is whey protein isolate. And as one guy comes out with this concept, more people are going to go for his protein shake. Because
I thought there was, I want to say that I thought I read something about isolate protein actually contributing to hair loss in some of these, on these forums where they're talking about, it's like these weightlifting forums and stuff like this, where they're talking about isolate protein actually causing hair loss in some of the users, along with was it keratin or
creatine?
Creatine, yeah. Along with that. So I have seen other obviously not scientific, but anecdotal evidence.
The only time I started to see it after Shapiro came out with this product.
Yeah, and it's Larry Shapiro, not Ron Shapiro.
Yeah, Dr. Larry Shapiro down in the Miami area or Fort Lauderdale area. Nothing wrong with the guy. I'm just saying he has this product, and he started selling this years ago. It's been over a decade, I think, maybe less, but close to that.
Close to a decade, yeah.
Yeah. So this information goes from person to person. Joe had asked me about something that he read on a website about some specific information about a specific remedy. Let's put it that way. And I had written this in my book, and I forgot because I don't recommend this stuff anymore. So he repeated something to me last night that actually was completely lifted from my book that I didn't recognize. But that's how the information gets out there online. Yeah. One person reads it or hears it someplace in an article. It could be at the fucking Huffington Post. And then it just goes from person to person to person. And all these articles seem official, look official, and seem like they're coming from legitimate sources when, in fact, it's just regurgitated information that could or could not be factual. Anyway, a long answer, but the truth is, if he wants to continue to use the stuff, if he feels better using the concentrate as opposed to isolate, then why not?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, dude. Listen. Yeah. Thanks for the call. Keep spreading the word, and call us back. Let us know. Tell him to call.
Yeah, he needs to call us.
Yeah, I will actually.
All right, man.
Yeah,
listen, thanks a lot.
I'll try to do that.
Good luck with the whole Detroit thing. All right, take care. All right, see you. Bye.
Good luck with the whole Detroit thing.
888-659-3727. We're going to take one more call. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
Hey, guys. What's going on? It's Nico from New York, Manhattan.
Hey, Nico. What's happening?
Oh, Nico.
What's going on, man?
How's the weather in New York, man? How's Manhattan?
Oh, it was super hot today. Really nice change of pace, change the perspective, emotions, all good. It was really nice out today.
I will tell you, the one thing I do miss, I miss springtime in New York, and I miss autumn in New York. But it's very short periods of time where there's no humidity, where the weather's just beautiful. But most of the time it's fucking miserable. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, it was a little humid today, but it was prime. But it was kind of like a nice fall day, like you were describing.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, that smell, man. You just nothing like it. It's like a young woman.
Exactly. Yeah. I love it.
So what's up?
So I've been just wanted to call in, and it's great that I'm talking to you guys. I check out Joe all the time and his videos. I'm on a hair transplant mentor from time to time. Been checking out Paul Truth for about a couple of years now.
Awesome.
Had my first transplant last summer in August. Where am I at? That's one thing I love about you guys, and one of Joe's videos about hair loss patterns, and I fall under more of like atypical hair loss pattern. So when I went and I saw Dr. Doran here in the city.
Did you tell him that you suffer from a Tillman level 4 hair loss pattern, and he knew exactly what you're talking about?
Unfortunately not. I still felt like a novice at the time going in, and so I was just trying to get his perspective. But no, actually, I think that video I saw on the varied pattern losses.
Believe me, Joe's head is getting so big, he's eventually going to start the Tillman chart. It's going to happen. I know it. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll get shot down real fast.
Yeah. No, I'll push it through. Let's make it up. We'll get some actually really cool images.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to have to get like biracial images now. Don't you think? Don't you think that would be more fair?
Biracial and gender neutral.
Yeah.
Gender neutral.
Binary.
In there, apparently, apropos of earlier conversation.
Yeah.
So I went in for surgery, and I guess I was classified around 4, heading towards possible 5, give or take. Now it doesn't help you guys don't have images. I couldn't shoot you any images, but
sure. They're all in here, buddy. I know exactly what it looks like.
They're just right there for you at any moment.
Yeah.
I actually started Propecia after surgery, and more recently I've been on it almost 3 months now. But I guess my main question, I'm hoping actually Joe does a video on it, and I don't think he has specifically to it, is trying to find the balance between donor supply and expectations. I don't know if that's specific or not, but I'm trying, because, I'm thinking about, I'm just started Propecia, so I'd like to give that some time, obviously. Because my pattern's atypical, I'm hoping to stabilize, of course, but I'm planning on concentrating on the crown for the second surgery. And I haven't made a call yet on who or what, but, I was very happy with the experience. With Dr. Dorn, I had some shock loss. It was spring. So I guess the main goal at the time was to establish, hairline, and then sprinkle some across the top.
Now, did you tell us your age? How old are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll be 44 coming up in July.
Oh shit, you're old as fuck. So
how many grafts did you get? I got about 2,300.
2,300 Norwood 4, and this is put in the front.
Yeah,
the thing is,
I would leave the crown alone if I were you. But go ahead. I'll let you finish your thought.
Okay. Yeah. No. So I guess that's part of my question. I have several questions. I don't want to take up your guys' time too much. And
dude, we're gonna call it a night after you. So.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
I guess my whole thing is I'm trying to find that balance between, since I've established a hairline, I would eventually, as not the whole hair grade thing is to eventually go back into the areas that were shocked just a little bit, just as touch up. But I think for me, it's trying to find balance. If I could go in for second surgery, to continue on that sort of path of, because I know I'll need multiple surgeries. At least we'll see how Propecia goes at least. But trying to figure out if I should go with those smaller. I know, like you said before, Spencer, that 23 at one point would be considered a mega session.
Yes.
And for me, I'm wondering if I should keep going because I have the atypical sort of pattern. There are some features that are weaker than others that would fall into more fictitious. I can't even say the word.
Fictitious.
Fictitious, yeah. And so I'm wondering about just trying to figure out my plan. And I know it's about due diligence and taking time and not rushing into anything, but I'm wondering if sticking with procedures of that size is a way to go.
Well, Joe's chomping at the bit, so I'm going to let him answer.
Well, I was going to say, it's like, you said you had your surgery 3 months ago?
No, I had last July.
Last July. And then when did you start Propecia?
About 3 months ago.
Okay, all right. So you don't have a plan right now. You're except to wait and see what Propecia does for you, because
I do. My plan was to go back because I do want to hit at least. I was thinking about the crown until Spencer just said what he said, but possibly hit past the hairline for sure. The crown is what makes me obviously my most self-conscious. Sorry, but go for it. Whatever you were going to say.
I was just going to say it's like I talk to guys like this all the time that's they just started a treatment, but they're talking about what to do in the future. And I think that, and I know it's difficult to do, especially after you've had your first procedure and hair greed kind of sets in, and you're happy with how things worked out, and you want to. It's like, well, shit, why not do another one? Move forward. You need to put the brakes on. And let Propecia do its thing, because it may turn things around to where, at the very least, it'll reduce the amount of hair that you need to have transplanted. But best case scenario, you might just say, fuck it, I'm happy with this.
Right.
Don't need another surgery. Right? Or you might be encouraged to at least hold off for another 5 or 6 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it can work that well. I have talked to so many guys in the past that were like, yeah, I want to get 6,000 grafts and just knock it out and call it a day. That ain't the way it works.
Bullshit. Right. I figured that out as I've been doing it. It's such an interesting learning curve. But
thankfully, I've talked a lot of guys into not doing that route and just addressing the front, do 2,500, 3,000 grafts, get the front done, see how you like it. You may not want to do the back. The back may turn out to be a non-issue, or medication may thicken it to where it's not as much of a priority for you anymore, to where you can move on in life and it's not so much of a big deal. That's what I think you should do. Don't plan anything until you see how this works out in another 9 months when you've been on it for a year. That's when you start.
And that's great advice. And first of all, you do have no matter how atypical you think your situation is, you do have a finite amount of hair that can be removed.
Right.
So utilizing, trying to use that in the crown is really, the crown is, it's known as the black hole. A lot of physicians, while they will transplant the crown, and there are guys who, they understand how to create the whirl and all that stuff. They're still hesitant. They still realize that a lot of patients aren't going to be as satisfied, and that could end up, backfiring on them as well. So I think there's a lot of guys who are more reserved when it comes to offering transplants in the crown. They'll say, well, we'll put a little smattering, we'll sprinkle some grafts in there, trying to make you happy, and it's just a fucking waste of grafts, in my view. So I think Joe's advice is actually spot on. There are guys who will get on finasteride, and you can actually get a result where it's almost as though you had another 2,500 graft or 2,800 graft transplant within a year. And then you're going to be in that position where, okay, wait a second, all these miniaturized hairs are now growing in a full anagen state. They're fully matured hairs, and just even the slight thickening of some miniaturization can give you an appearance of having another transplant. I'm not even talking about full growth. I'm just talking about just slight, reversing some of the miniaturization. So don't make any plans. This is your plan. You're happy with the result now, right?
Yeah. I mean, minus the shock loss, my hair characteristics come across as like nice density, and it's curly, and it's really just less transparent. It's the first procedure was really good. I guess for me, it's been all about my being self-conscious about the crown for sure.
Well, here's the thing: every subsequent procedure puts you at greater risk of getting fucked up. Just know that. So currently, if you had a choice of being fucked up or living with your current bald spot, how would what would your choice be?
Right.
That's what you have to think of.
I almost said the latter.
But exactly. It's the former. So that's.
And it's nothing against. It was Dr. True, your doctor?
No, it was Dr. Doran.
Why don't I get those two? Yeah. It's nothing against Dr. Doran. It's the law of averages, right? I mean, these doctors are human. Every doctor out there, every doctor in any list in any country have unhappy patients. If they don't, it means they started 3 weeks ago.
Right.
And their patients haven't had time to be unhappy.
Now, it also it could be due to your physiology. It could be due to something that's happening that day with you. It could be due to a changeover in staff. It could be due to anything. But the point is, it's not that we're saying don't have another surgery when you're ready for it. But right now, you're trying to kind of rush through to get some sort of sense of satisfaction. There's people that believe that once I get this done, I'm going to be able to live a happy life. And that's it. Right now you've established a better hairline. So from, at least in a mirror or when you meet people, you probably look better.
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel a lot, I feel really good about the work. I mean, minus some minor shock loss. And it has some recession. It's very natural, actually. It came across, I don't know if a lot of talk's been, done with Dr. Doran, but a lot of respect for him because he was very conservative, very honest, very upfront about everything.
Dr. Doran has been with the IHRS for well over a decade now. I mean, the guy is somebody who he's well-honed, man. He's been doing this for a long time, and he knows what he's doing.
And forget about personalities. He was super nice, and I know that becomes secondary, to the fact of his work.
It's helpful, though.
He's such a nice guy, such a sweet guy. But he was extremely honest. I said, when I first went in, I'd asked about, how many grafts, what's the max? And his approach is very conservative and is very honest about, talking about my donor supply and whatnot. So for me, it's just been trying to figure out that balance. For me, has been the biggest issue in my head is, max amount of how I should do, when I should go in, when I should wait it out, like you guys are talking about, and just trying to find that balance for me is just kind of tricky.
Well, the good news is you've only had one procedure that's been effective and has been life-changing for you. That's a big deal, and it's been all positive. You are now using finasteride. I'm assuming you're not having any adverse side effects.
No, I mean, there was some, little pain in the balls action, slight, but that's gone. I've been going slow, taking my time with it. I've started, I said about 3 months ago, been taking it now. I mean, just so that I didn't get hit hard with side effects, I was going very slow with it. Only twice a week to start, but I plan on upping it to 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll see how that goes, I guess. So I just really appreciate the advice, and I needed to hear from you guys for sure, just to get some perspective on everything. And
I wish
to buy in the bullshit of getting in, trying to nail down another one and then wait 2 years, and without having a plan, just sort of take my time with it. I think is what I needed to hear. So
well, I'm glad that we were able to help, and that's true. I mean, you can't your plan so far has worked, and right now, just stay the course, see how the medication goes, and the great thing is, the transplant's always going to be there for you.
Right. Exactly.
So there's no rush.
That's what I have to remember.
All right, man.
All right.
Listen, best of luck. Thanks for listening.
I really appreciate you guys' time. Sorry for any novice questions. You guys are the best. I really appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks, Nico. Thanks
no
for
novice
calling.
questions at all. Appreciate it. Take care.
All right, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Goodbye.
All right, guys. We're going to call it a night.
Good show.
On
Good
the spot. Yeah, good calls, good show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Obviously, Joe Tillman's personal website is hairtransplantmentor.com. I keep saying Joe is the original hair transplant mentor. I got to find another title for him. I'm getting tired of that.
Me too, actually.
But, Joe Tillman is Joe Tillman. Joe Tillman is a guy that went out there and, literally exposed his pain and his tragedy and his triumph over, that was good, actually. I got to write that down.
That was good.
Over hair loss and what he was able to do to, kind of get his life back after he was fucked up. And he turned, as I have, his Achilles heel into his, his passion and his career. So I think that's something to be said for what Joe does. And that's why we have had him as part of the show for such a long time. And that's why we decided to kind of make it a full-time thing. Unique perspective. Check out his website, hairtransplantmentor.com. Also, a lot of you guys are watching the program through Joe Tillman's Hair Transplant Mentor YouTube page. Anyone who is listening to the show, anyone who's currently watching the program, whether you're listening through one of my resources or Joe's resources or iHeartRadio or iTunes Radio, go to Hair Transplant Podcast on YouTube and fucking subscribe. Okay, we're trying to build that page. There's going to be a lot of great information on there. And subscribe to Joe's page if you're listening to the show and you're not watching it on YouTube, or if you're watching it through The Bald Truth or GFQ, go to Joe's page and subscribe. The websites, thebaldtruth.com. You can find archives of this broadcast on The Bald Truth and some other great stuff. And you know what? Subscribe to that as well. The more subscribers, the better. That's, we're really trying to work hard again to spread the word about what's happening in the industry and actually the way the industry is devolving. As you can see from our Detroit caller, these young guys are going on YouTube, they're finding all this bullshit, sadly, and they're being led down a very dangerous path. Bald Jerry called in and said he was using RU58841, that who knows where the hell he got it from and how he's mixing it and what he was putting on his head. But he suffered with long-term, at least for a while, adverse side effects. That shit happens, guys. Be careful out there. BaldTruthTalk.com is our message forum. American Hair Loss Association, of course, for the American Hair Loss Association, and AmericanHairLoss.org for the American Hair Loss Association. And if you're considering surgical hair restoration, check out the International Alliance of Hair Restoration Surgeons at IAHRS.org. And, of course, those are the only doctors that Joe Tillman recommends as well. And this was not like a deal. Joe came to me and said, look, I'm going to get into this thing. I only want to work with IHRS recommended surgeons. And I was like, hey, that's cool. Thanks.
Baseline requirements.
Yeah. I appreciate you recognizing the importance of that shit where everyone else is just trying to sell something to you.
Exactly.
So anyway, guys, also I'm gonna let you take it away for hair loss experiences. Jay.
Yeah, I want to thank, or we want to thank Hair Loss Experiences, a UK focused hair loss and hair transplant discussion forum, for hosting the live stream yet again, helping to get the message out to the UK and to Europe at large. So thank you to Big Mac, the moderator and administrator of that forum, for his support. It's a great resource. It's just another example of people in the industry working together. Unfortunately, not a common thing to be found in the hair loss and hair transplant industry, but it is a great example of it working synergistically.
A lot of ugly people in this industry. I'm not talking about just physically. I mean, just really fucked up people, just mean, unhappy, ugly haters who have caused a lot of needless ugliness in this business. And the truth is, we should all be on the same page, just trying to help everybody out.
That's what it comes down to.
It should be the hair loss community should be a community. It should really truly be community based. But you know what? It's fucked up. It really is.
You guys have no idea.
You guys have no clue. So please, whatever you're reading out there, take it with a grain of salt. Anytime you go on a message forum, take that with a grain of salt. Know that the flow of information is trying to be controlled. And in many ways it is. And you could watch things as they transpire on the online world. It just makes you sick.
Just think about this for a moment. You've got, on any forum, you've got people that are using anonymous handles, not their real name,
right,
giving you medical advice. Think about that for a moment. These people are anonymous. You don't know who they are. You don't know what their motivations are. You don't know if they're getting paid to say something, paid to attack someone, paid to drag someone's name through the mud or spread false rumors, or if they're legitimate. You have no idea. And they're giving you medical advice.
Also know if someone is a moderator of any website and tries to steer the flow of information, that's a bad sign. Moderators are there to moderate. They are supposed to be silent. And if they discuss anything, it's the rules of the site. You are breaking the rules. This is why this action is happening. Good night.
Yeah.
That is it. If anything else is transpiring, you need to look at that with a jaundiced eye. All right, guys. We call it a night. Joe Tillman, thank you for being a part of the broadcast live from our TBT studios in Vancouver, British Columbia. I came to you live from Los Angeles, California. Until next time, be strong, God bless, and thank you so much for listening. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry for any inconvenience you may have been put to prior to the program, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. And if you could now leave by the exits at the rear, that'd be splendid. Thank you. Good night.